All right, so we can get this thing started. All right, come on, YouTube. All right, we are live. Hello, everybody, and welcome back to another edition of the Jedi Academy here on Reality Scoop Gamers. I'm your man with the plan, Ranger J 1999, welcoming you guys into another fun-filled Saturday morning here in the U.S. Good morning, good evening, good afternoon, wherever you are. And this show is dedicated to all you guys out there because this is a Q&A show, and it's pretty simple. The way it works is if you have questions about Star Wars Galaxy of Heroes, the mobile game brought to you by Capital Games, this is where you can put your questions in. This is a straight Q&A show. And the way it works is if you have questions for myself or the panel, whoever shows up, and we always have different people show up on the panel. It's open to all content creators. They can pop in if they can, and they're more than welcome. And we're here to answer your questions about the game, and it's pretty simple, the format of how you get that done. All you need to do, if you have a question you'd like to ask myself or anybody on the panel, all you need to do is put the word question in front of your actual question statement, and we'll get it scooped up. And that's all you have to do. So make sure you put the word question, then whatever question or statement that you want us to discuss or answer, and we'll get that done. It's pretty simple. It's nice and easy format. And the reason we do that is I have to filter out, we get a lot of people in the chat. It's just easier to filter that stuff out. And I use Nightbot as a filtering tool, and we use the word question as the actual filtering word to make that easier. So help me to help you, help me help you. It's all about helping. So good morning, good afternoon, good evening, wherever you may be. It might be just starting in the morning here in the U.S., and there's lots of coffee being drunk, and or it could be afternoon or evening for European folks, or anybody from Australia, or anybody out there, wherever it may be. It could be middle of the night. It doesn't matter. Thank you for being here. We very much appreciate it. If you like the content, hit the thumbs up. And if you really want to watch more of this and get notifications when we stream live, we do it all the time. Hit that subscribe button, and that way you can get notifications. It helps the channel in both regards and helps the channel grow. So there you go. Pretty simple. That's my little spiel. Hope everyone's having a good morning. Good morning, good morning, good morning, good morning, good morning. Happy Saturday. Yes, happy Saturday. Happy weekend. Yes, happy weekend to all you guys. Glad to see you guys here. So it's been a really, really long week for everybody. And so, yeah, I'm sure we got plenty of stuff to talk about. Skywalker Vader, our good Canadian friend with the Vulcan sign. Yeah, him and all the other Vulcans up there in Canada, eh? Drinking Canadian coffee with Canadian whiskey. That's what they do there in Canada, yeah? And they eat some poutine. So, welcome. Howdy. Good morning. Good morning to everybody. So, we'll wait till see if any panels show on. Go ahead and get your questions in. Bobby Samuel, did Poby quit? Yes, she did quit. She did quit the game, unfortunately. She's not the only one. Hershey also quit. You've seen the Knight brothers over with Heinze. Heinze said that he quit as well. So yeah, unfortunately, yeah, Poby's hanging it up, which is sad. I'm a sad panda for that. Right, someone joined us. Oh, look, I think it's Gom. Let me look. Oh, it is Gom. I'm just waiting to see if the camera flashes over and I get naked Gom.
Or I got clothes on.
Yay! Gom's not naked. Huzzah! Good job, Gom.
Still here hanging out by yourself, man.
Oh, it's okay. I've done it many times. What's going on, buddy?
Not much. Give me a couple seconds to get situated here.
I know. Go
Right
for
back.
it, brother. Well, unfortunately for those that wanted to see it, there's no naked Gom, but we do have Gom, so Gom's joining us. Tila says, I'll join the bit on my lunch. Yeah, go ahead for it, Tila. You know you're more than welcome. Yes, I know where you are, Sandfly. You've been on vacation again, so he's in Bangkok. Yeah, let's not do that. No, don't join Zoom. Don't do that. Yeah, don't. No. We don't need to. But yes, good morning, good afternoon, good morning. Yeah, that's for reals. Poby did quit for reals. A lot of people have quit here recently. Helen X, there's Helen X. Helen X, what's going on, you crazy bastard? Kashmir, good morning. Ovakilla, good morning. What else are you? 3. Gav P. God dang, Bobby. Ray Rock, Ogie D, Michael W. Huntington III from Rochester Secret Gaming Services, y'all. Where you said hi to Skywalker Vader, Playtar, George Fletcher, Tila Matt, of course, Hellenic says he's lurking while he's working. Oh, there you go. Well, if you're not lurking, you're not trying. Ask Durgan Gergen, our famous RC lurker. He's always lurking. Anybody else I missed? I'm just saying hi to everybody while Gom gets situated and stuff. So go ahead and get your questions in, guys. I'm sure that you guys have lots of questions, lots of things to discuss. So we will get those scooped up as soon as you guys are ready. We're still getting the show started. Wait for Gom to get over here. Anybody else and other content creators will pop in when they get a chance. We start the stream and then some are here in the beginning and then some just come in along the way. So yeah. So go ahead and get your questions and we'll get to those here as quickly as possible. Gappy's excited to see Michael Hunt in the chat. So there you go. Long-restrained and dancing daughter. The Michael Huntington III is well known for his environment of causing mischief. Cashmere says, I hope Datacrons don't make Remon or Grande lead the game. Up, too late. Too late on that one, Cashmere. I'm sorry that happened. That's so 2020. All right. Just getting myself situated here as well. It's early in the morning for me. I have to get, this is the kind of dedication we have for you guys. It's a Saturday morning. I could be sleeping in, recovering from the week. Gom could be doing the same thing, but we're here to answer your questions and get you the information you need. But then again, we have brain damage, so I don't know how much good information we're going to give you. But we're going to give it we're going to give it the old college try. That's what we do here. All right. I'm just trying to get my Nightbot here just up and running. Oh, good. Hellenic's going to be the first question. Huzzah. Oh, God. Oh, God. He's already starting his nonsense. Jesus. Someone knife him. Can someone knife Hellenix? He's already started the questions. Jesus. Please, God. Someone secret knife attack Hellenix. Oh, it's too late. It's too late. Damn it. All right. The question got in there. Oh, God. Well, poop. Oh, God.
All right.
Gom, you feeling you're awake? You're alive?
Kind of.
Yeah. Get some coffee.
I have a funny story. We have a gentleman named Jamie to thank for my appearance on the show today.
Why's that?
This gentleman rings my doorbell, bangs on the door, and he's in a huge red truck. So I reach under the bed and grab a pistol to go to the door because I don't know who the hell is this banging on the door. And I open it up, kind of behind, it's kind of
right.
And I open it up and he's like, Jonathan? Oh, well, that's my name. Sorry, guys. Gom? I was like, yes. Yes. He's like, I found your wallet. It just handed me my wallet with all the cash and credit cards and everything in it. I've lost my wallet, and this guy just shows up Saturday at 10 o'clock and gives him my wallet.
Wow.
I was like, here, keep the cash. He's like, no. And then just got back in his truck and just sped off. I was like, there's some good people left in the world.
There's a lot of good people left in the world.
Yeah, it's a good way to start the day.
Well, isn't that nice?
Yeah, it sure was. So everybody give Jamie a round of applause.
Yeah, let's get some Jamies in the chat, man. Good job, man.
Good job, Jamie. Thank you, man.
Yeah. I mean, that's unbelievable. Wow.
Yep.
Okay, so it's myself and Gom. I'm sorry, Gom. Helenix got his questions in first, so we're going to get Heli questions before we get to the other questions. How's your week been, my friend? It's been a very, very long week in Star Wars Galaxy of Heroes, my friend. Holy Christ. Oh, boy.
It's been all right. Got a Grand Arena starts on Monday. I got a lot to do in my roster. That's for damn sure.
I know.
I don't know if it does or not. I'm assuming it does, but just got a lot to do. So
Yeah. Usually we start talking about what the big thing, the topics for the week with the panelists, but I think we're going to get plenty of that conversation going on with Datacrons. I mean, holy God! On top of everything else that we got coming up, I don't know how you are with your Inquisitors. Mine are ready for for the Grand Inquisitor, but I gotta admit, man, I haven't seen this kit. I'm not overly excited about Grand Inquisitor. I don't know how you are, but I mean, unless this kit blows me away, my priority is still Malgus. You know, I'm doing everything I can to make sure he's ready to go first before I do anything with Grand Inquisitor.
Well, I'll tell you, if he is lackluster, and if he's lackluster because he's actually lackluster, not because lots of content creators want to tell me that he's lackluster, right? It's like if he sucks, then I will be very hesitant.
Yeah.
I will probably skip in the future the first round. Like I I did, I finished like fifth brother up in shipments, which was my mistake, right? Like my choice to do, and then it comes out in Cantina, and I would have had plenty of time to finish all of these characters. I
Yeah.
jumped the gun a little bit, and I spent some crystals to get them all ready and stuff, right? Not only with that, with the Chirotex and stuff like that.
Same.
So and if he is lackluster, I'm not doing this again because this is
Yeah.
what we've all done, right? We've all leveled up these characters on a whim, hoping that the prize is worth the investment in time, right? So we'll see.
Well, it's a comparison, right? It's like playing Russian roulette because like Star Killer, another legendary, right?
Yeah.
You know the four characters that came with him were unbelievable, and Star Killer was unbelievable, right? And the thing that we've been dealing with now is that the Inquisitors are lackluster, to put it mildly, right? They're meh. You know, I mean, they're situational. They're TW. Outside of TW with their Omicrons, and it's a lot of Omicrons you might have to put on them to get any value out of them. I mean, you do the assault battle that's with them. I only got through the tier 1 challenge. I tried the tier 2, and I was like, you get to that fifth mission, just like Sidious back in the day. But still, it's like you can't beat them. I'm hoping Grand Inquisitor makes a big deal about that. The Galactic Challenge are damn near impossible to beat too. With the Inquisitors, they just have not been the same thing. So unless if Grand Inquisitor is awful, then it's going to make me kind of be like you are, where it's like, well, on one hand, it could be a Star Killer or it could be a Grand Inquisitor. It's going to make me really nervous to want to spend crystals on it. You know what I'm saying? So, yeah. But I'm excited for Malgus, though. I mean, Malgus, we've seen his kit.
Yeah.
We know what he looks like. He's going
He
to be a
looks good.
monster. He's going to be a monster. And then we got that Datacron stuff. I think we'll wait for that. Wait, who's joining us? Oh, here with Michael Huntington III.
Oh, what's up, man?
Mikey, are you there?
Tally ho.
Oh,
I
good.
thought I'd just hop on and say Heidi hi.
How's
it going, man?
What's going on, buddy?
Yeah. What's going on? Sweary and Sweary's mum have both got jobs. I've got my feet up waiting for the F1 later today. The Canadian one, the Maple Syrup Grand Prix.
The Maple Syrup Grand Prix. Oh my God! At least you got the house to yourself, so you don't have to deal with Sweary or the wifey. Man, that's good stuff right there.
Well, I know, and you're all breathing a massive sigh of relief because you know that you're not going to get penalised for my daughter.
Yeah, well, we
Hitting
cuss anyway on here. It's adult content, so Sweary's always, that's why I think, yeah. So when Sweary comes in, it's as long as we get a warning, it's just we're just not prepared for Sweary when she starts going off. So
And a Ranger to return. There we go.
oh, there we go. Yeah, we've been having some weather issues here lately, and something's been going on with the internet. So my apologies, folks. Not much I can do about it. It thundered and lightning last night, so if the internet goes down a little bit, you know what's up. It looks like it's fine, which is a little hiccup, a little hiccup. Okay, are we ready to get to some questions? I think we are, because I'm sure we're gonna get lots of questions on a bunch of stuff here. Oh God! All right, here we go. Helenex was first, so bear with me here. Okay, Helenex, question for Ranger. I had a real beepity beep week in real life. I literally skipped the Datacron for tutorial thing. What did I miss? Am I screwed? Should I quit while I'm ahead? Do I suck? Also, why? There's so much to unpack in that question. Good Lord. I don't even know where to begin. You should yes, you should definitely read the tutorial, make up your own mind, and figure out what you think about Datacrons. Don't just take our opinion on it. We'll give our opinion, I'm sure, here as we get more questions for Datacrons. But my God, Helenix, that's not the first questions we need. We're barely awake right now, dude. God dang it. Oh, and I see other ones for oh God, here comes some more later on. Oh Jesus. All right, let's get to a different question. Gappy question: apart from Datacrons, is there anything else that happened this week? I've got cron blindness. I don't think anything else happened this week. I mean, there was
the new assault battle came out.
Yeah, for the Inquisitors. Yeah,
they snuck that one in there.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I don't really know what else. There's.
Is anyone else thinking it's just Ewoks in disguise? It's like a death by 1,000 times 1,000 cuts.
God,
if they survive,
boring.
you win. Yeah.
There, no damage.
Oh, look, there's a Jedi. I'll hit him 8,000. And it's like, what?
And they're supposed to do extra damage to Jedi.
What?
I basically autoed it through the first assault tier 1. I just want to see if I could just leave it on auto, see what would happen. And then I got to the challenge tier 2, and there's just no way. You get to the 5th fight, which is the Jedi fight, you can't win. I even had like 9 stacks of the buff on second sister, and nothing. I mean, I actually took out to the Jedi, but they just whittle you down. There's no way. Yeah, and I had people that had like Relic 9. Ninth Sister telling me they can't beat it. It's just crazy. That fight is ridiculous. I don't know how many times did you guys? I attempted about 5-6 times on stream and some other attempts, and I just said nope, I'm done. How many? You guys? Where did you get to? Challenge tier 1, tier 2? Where did you get to?
I got up to the point where I couldn't auto it anymore. I think I was able to auto the Kyrotech mission.
Tier 1, yep.
Yeah, and then anything I didn't get any relic materials. I like I said, I tried to sim it a couple times, and it just my phone battery died because it was 3.5 hours. I was into phase 3.
I just love the tongue in cheek. Isn't that one called Fanatical Devotion?
Yes.
Which is probably the most correctly named assault or event in the game's history, isn't it? It's exactly what it says on the tin. I mean, to me, I'm looking at that one thinking, seeing the same, possibly Grand Inquisitor will be the difference. We'll find out next time round, because it's coming out next week, isn't it?
Yeah, next Thursday. Yeah, we should get a kit reveal Tuesday or Wednesday of next week, and then Thursday he comes out.
So they've got a little while to maybe fix everything they break by when they release him, and then it'll either be a stroll in the park the next time round, or it will be the new Night Sister tier 3. What the actual?
It's the same thing. It's the same problem I have with the Night Sisters and the others. That's the only. This one and then the Secrets and Shadows, the Night Sister one, is the only ones I do not have tier, the challenge tier 3 done. Right, the other ones is all just sim all the way through, which is nice. And I know for a fact that it's going to be a long time before I invest in Night Sisters. I just do not have the resources to do what I'm working on and then do Night Sisters. And I'm not going to do that just for like assault battles,
There'll be an Omicron soon.
God.
Oh, am I talking about Datacrons don't work in assault battles, do they?
No. So, all right. What else? 93 question for Gom. How do you spell the Jamie? Is it Jamie? We don't know. Gom doesn't know. I don't think Gom.
Oh yeah, dude, he wrote me a note.
Did he? Oh, okay. Because he's wanting to know how you spell Jamie. He's got different spellings of it. But
I think it was Jamie. It wasn't like Jaime, or He spelled it with IE.
IE. So there you go. There you go.
It might have been Hy-Vee. I felt like such a dick, you know. I mean, this guy's banging. I felt like a dick because I don't know this guy. He's sitting out front and just lingering in the street in his truck. So I was just, you know, kind of better safe than sorry. I just felt like an asshole when I opened it up. It was like a super nice guy. And I felt like,
well, yeah, but
Yeah.
better to be safe than sorry. You know what
Yeah.
I'm saying? You know, it could have been a crazy person. You know, you never know. So no, I think you don't have anything to feel guilty about. Shubham Gahol. What a name. Says, question for Ranger. I'm 6.5 million GP free to play in Kyber 3. What's the optimal use for Datacron? Great question. I think this is a question. I mean, you can leave aside whether you like Datacrons or you really despise them like me. That being, put that aside. All right, that's a whole different thing. They're here, whether we wanted to or not. They're here. So, what do you do with your Datacron? Depends on how far you can take it up. It's really difficult to take Datacrons up unless you spend. You're free to play, so the materials are very limiting that you can get out of the store and or what you're getting through Conquest and things of that nature. So I doubt. I mean, I'm hoping maybe you can take yours up to maybe the tier 6 and at least get one of the faction bonuses. It just depends. Like if you can only do one Datacron, go with your best team. Probably a Galactic Legend team that you can get some bonuses on, or another team, whatever team you think will be the best. And then figure out what you're going to use it for, offense or defense, depending on the stats on it. You know, you have to kind of look at what the stats are that you roll for it. Where's it like? Where's it going to be best situated to be used on what team? You know, because the stats are so they're so different. It's ridiculous. So you're gonna have to kind of figure out like,
Is that me or is that you guys?
what
Like you're going real in and out. Is that my connection?
is that me? I'm showing we're green. Are you having? Am I going in and out for you, Mike?
Yeah, you are.
All right, let me check something
now,
here.
Now that
Hold on,
Dom
everybody.
said it as well. I just thought it was me and my British connections.
I'm looking at stuff here. Yeah,
Don't you know? We are not amused.
Maybe it's not the.
Something Calvin was talking about last night. The Gambit, we did like a roundtable, and he was saying he's breaking it down like how many teams can I make it R5? How many teams can I make it R3? I mean, if you can only make 2 or 3 teams full of R5s, and you know, I'm not sure 6.5 million how many R5s you have, but you know, break it down by team, and then do remember that 3s is coming up as well. And the point they were talking about last night is you only need 3 characters that are R5 to be able to use Datacron in 3s, right? And 3 and for R3, so a little bit of depth might be helpful in terms of 3s. You might be able to put them on way more teams than you think you can, assuming 3s are coming back. I don't know if they've announced that or not, but we're just assuming, or we as an I'm assuming that 3 versus 3 is coming back. This is going to be rotating again, but it could be wrong there too. So I don't know.
Yeah.
The other naughty thing, of course, is at the moment you can buy a load of the mats you need from the Shard Shop and Ally points. Mm-hmm. You know that ain't gonna stay. You know that's just for the exhibition, and all of a sudden it'll be, we've changed that. Pay me.
Well, here's the problem with both of those. I mean, Shard Shop currency is so needed for, you know, especially a lot of players that are, you know, they're still working on stuff. I mean, the gear that's you can get out of there is so needed for relics and other things that, you know, they can't really use that. And you should not be using your ally points, your bronziums. You should be saving that for Shard Shop currency, because getting these characters to relics is, you know, a big hurdle for a lot of people for Datacron. So if you don't have the characters, you know, for a lot of your teams, Relic 3 or Relic 5 to take advantage of the Datacrons, that's got to be your priority. You can't be, you know, what's the point of having Datacrons if you can't use them for your shard stop, you know, for the gear and stuff, which is still a problem. Yeah.
Didn't they say ages ago that they would never repurpose ally points? I'm really struggling with that word. Ally points.
Ally.
APs. That's the one. Yeah, that word.
Just say bronze.
Bakaruda. Huh?
The hell's behind your head, Gom? God damn it, Gom.
Dr. Feelgood asked for a dessert picture. That's the only food I had. With chili peppers.
Jesus. Oh my God. We're kicking it off. Yeah, just shove. I mean, go with the best team you got that you can take advantage of the Datacron. I mean, at 6.5 million, I'm sure you have at least a couple GLs and things of that nature. You're going to meet the requirements for the Relic 3 and 5. So yeah, just use it for the best team you got and take it from there. Skywalker Vader question. I'm a little confused when Datacrons go live. This GAC coming up. As far as I understand, they're going to be in this GAC. Did I miss the memo on that?
No. Like the picture, and this is something I did like a little slideshow, and I messed it up. I actually took it down off YouTube because it was wrong. But like it's the picture. It's acquired upgrade and then battle. But then in fine print underneath, there's like set 1. All Datacrons will be able to use then battle immediately. Like there's a couple weeks here, obviously, where there's no game modes for us to use them in. But yeah, you can use them right away.
Yeah, I was doing it yesterday. We went to my GAC defense and we're just looking at the stats. Thank God this isn't the one. I got nothing but protection on this one, so we were just kind of dicking around and put it on JML just to see what the stats were. Oh my God. Yeah, like 200,000 protection almost. It was stupid. I was like, oh my God, this is insanity. Oh God. Yeah. Okay. So yes, GAC coming up. There's Skywalker Vader. What else? Any 3 question with the amount CG has pushed Inquisitors. What's the likelihood that Grand Inquisitor is needed for the next GL?
Yeah,
I don't
possibly.
think it's gonna be.
I mean,
it's a possibility. I don't see it. Do you guys see this? I don't see. I think it's going to be like I don't ever see Starkiller and or like Grand Inquisitor being needed for a GL. It could happen, but lore wise,
I see what you mean. Yeah.
I just don't see them being tied in unless I'm missing something. But usually, when they tie on all the characters together for the that are linked somehow through lore and stuff. Those two are kind of and for GL. Yeah, I mean.
They're not going to bring out another new Mr. Beardy, are they?
God, I hope
they
not.
couldn't do. Well, they could do. Obviously, they could. But
Grand Inquisitor, possibly. Yeah, like maybe. I think Starkiller's done. I think they're done with the Old Republic for a while.
Yeah.
Haven't we got Ahsoka coming up?
That next year.
I've seen some. Still next year.
Yeah. So they're just. I think they're finishing up shooting on that one. The next one is Andor. And,
I was just going to say Rogue One. Oh man, I watched Rogue One again the other week.
So good.
Still such a good movie.
Yeah.
Such a good movie. Yeah. No wonder they're kind of. So, I don't know. Would we get a GL through Andor?
No. I'm trying to think. So I know Bad Batch is coming soon. I know Andor is coming soon. I don't know what's the next series after that. I know we got another season of The Mandalorian coming. We know Ahsoka's coming. I'm trying to figure out if there's anything else. Top of my head, I know there's a bunch of stuff, but yeah. Oh, God. Aldous Sandfly's here. Oh, Jesus. He's in... All right, let's see what happens with that. Okay. Hello, Aldous.
It's fine. I'm more sober than normally I'm during these. Are you all...
Did he freeze?
Content creators, I know the lighting is a nightmare. You like again? Oh.
We heard nothing you just said, dude. You completely froze.
No, well, that's probably lucky. That's probably lucky.
Okay, it's working now. Okay.
I don't know. We're in cheap Bangkok hotel Wi-Fi at the moment, so yeah, not the best. How is everyone? Are we all enjoying the week? I just thought pop in and say hi.
Well, hello there. Hello there.
And can I raise my hat to Helenix asking the first most sensible question, and indeed the first question of the stream? What a legend. You like?
If you say so. right, let's continue on. Oh God. Speak of the aforementioned Hellenix, here we go. Hellenix, question for Gami. He says, your wallet story. I figured you lived by me since you said I went to my door armed. Then you said dude gave me your wallet with no cash cards missing, so you don't live by me. Huh. Hellenix sad, hashtag. Not really a question in there, Gom, just more of a statement. I don't know if you want to repose or respond to that.
I would suggest refreshing up to the hundreds. I don't really know. What does it say?
You're not supposed to say anything. It's Hellenix. Question for Mike Hunt from Helly. Says, Mike, I miss you, brother. That is all. Hope you're well.
Oh, thank you.
I know,
I was just going to go back to the previous question. Considering we're talking about Star Wars galaxies far, far away, Gom and Hellenix live on the same planet, the same lump of rock, so they're always going to be close in a spatial thing, context.
It is true.
True story. Sorry, wrong franchise. That's Shark Tale.
It's fine. Rare Rock says, question. I'm a bit confused with Datacron since all of them say Treaties Inquisitorius. Does that mean it's all for Inquisitors? Also, do all the Datacrons roll the same stats based off the list? So, guys will keep me honest here.
It's just it's the season we're in.
Yeah, it's just each month they'll have a different name. Yeah, they'll just be named something. It's not just specific for. Yeah.
This one's Treaties Inquisitorius. The next one will be Treaties. We couldn't think of one, and then it'll be Treaties. We've kind of run out now, and then we'll move back into more content.
Yeah. So each month it'll be a different name for the Datacron. As for the stats, does not roll the same stats. It's
every
random.
time I'm unlocking these. Well, I just thought every time you unlock them, oh god, I've got another Inquisitorius one. I've got another Inquisitorius one. I've got another.
No.
It was kind of something, of all the things they could have put in that lovely little intro they did, they could have said, oh, by the way, this season is the Treatise in Inquisitorius section, and that would have been easier.
So I thought, yay, I'll be able to do the challenge tier 3 with my new Datacron. But of course, they don't apply, and they're not for Inquisitorius. So yeah, same boat. Confused.com.
.org. All right.
No,
so yeah, it's just the name of the Datacron for each month. They'll have a different name, but that doesn't mean anything. Now the stats, there's too many stats. There's so much RNG. They can go in all different kinds of directions. So they do not roll the same stats. I think we can all tell you that we all have different stats in our Datacrons that hit different stuff, and that's even including the level 3 bonus you get for just whether it's light side or dark side, and then the level 6, even with the faction specific ones, there's different ones that are in there. And then when you get to the level 9, there's, I think for whichever character you get, there's 3 different final boost stat you get for that character, whether it be Ayla, whether it be GL Ray, Kenobi, Finn. And so there's 3 different ones that you can get for that. So
do you reckon they held on to all those moody mods when mods were first introduced, held on to all those stats, and they're just now redeploying them under the Datacron tag?
I have no idea, man. Datacrons completely have me scratching my head.
Yeah.
At least with mods. Now there was a disaster in GOM, and I'm sure Mike, you remember this. I don't know if you were playing Alice at that time, but mods 1.0 was a disaster. And they had to pull it back.
28,000 protection.
Oh my
god!
On
a white mod.
Oh
my
single roll. God, it was horrible. But at least with mods, it's very specific. You kind of have a good sense of what you got. If there's only so many stats and there's only so many directions those can go. It's still RNG, but it's a little bit more controlled in a certain stat function. Datacrons, man, I've seen pretty much crazy combinations. Someone, what was it? Super Mace Windu. His first 3 rolls on his Datacron was health steal. He had 300% health steal on his first 3 rolls. I was like, get the hell out of here. Mine went the opposite. Mine went complete protection. I've got like 50% protection or something crazy on mine total, which is incredible. If I put that on a GL, imagine. So yeah, there's so many different ways you can go with this, and one of my issues with Datacrons is that it is completely, even the lower stats, right? If you just say take a bunch to 3, that completely changes the dynamic on even GLs, even GL counters, right? Because those stats can completely change the dynamic of your GL teams. Even just the first 3 levels, you can get crazy health or protection or a certain stat and put that on that team, and completely changes counters or offense or all kinds of things. So it's going to be it's definitely going to be a cluster something come GAC time, man. I don't know some of this stuff, man. I mean, I saw the one that Clayton rolled for he has JMK, and he's got the.
Well, I'm sorry. I missed the earlier kind of chat. Sorry, I was trying to fix internet. Let me know if I'm still buffering and stuff. Well, I haven't rolled any yet. I'm just seeing how many I get. And then just before Grand Arena lock-in, I will choose which ones I roll and how much I roll. As I look at it, where my strategy is maybe going is strength and depth, and I might roll all the ones I get to the second stat boost and just put them on any random team. And therefore my opponent will face 11 Datacrons, and I will keep one. I'll keep maybe one. I'll maybe soup up one, and I'll keep that for offense. So if I go against somebody who's put all their resources into one single one, and they put it on defense, then I'll be able to beat that with GMK, and I'll try and get the best possible sort of thing. So my plan at the moment is probably roll 1 up to 8 or 9, and roll all the others to like just a second. And then what I'll have is 11 teams with 20% extra this, 10% extra that. That's kind of relevant to that team, because they won't have actually decided whether it's light side or dark side at that point. It'll just be kind of a general across the board boost. So when I'm doing Grand Arena, I might probably try and spread out Datacrons. But at the moment, I'm still collecting them. I think I'm up to 5 or 6 now. I haven't rolled anything yet, so I've got absolutely no idea. I'll probably do a stream before GAC where I roll them all. I'll probably have a look to see what resources I have at that point. I do love Conquest, so Conquest and Malgus looks legit. So,
well, yeah. So here's the problem. If you're gonna spend, here's a problem that kind of why I really don't like Datacrons. It's a temporary boost, and the resources that you need, you do not get enough. We did the math. For one Datacron, you get enough materials, including that's if you get the red box. You only get about 40% of what you need to take a Datacron all the way up. That through all the reward. That's if you have, and that's if you get the $9.99 pack. With the extra materials that you get from there. So that's a big problem. The other thing too is the cost to get these things up is just crazy, and you don't get enough materials even with hear me in Zoom?
I can still hear you.
Yeah, okay. I'm just checking because I just had an update yesterday with Windows, and first I thought this was an internet issue, but I'm beginning to think this is an OBS issue. There's something weird going on. I've never had this kind of connection issue before.
Yeah, it's doing it to me too now.
It looks like it's okay right now. Sorry about that, folks out there in chat, TV land. We are at the mercy of technology. It looks like it's okay now. Let me look at it for a minute here. Let me just make sure that we're good to go. I think we're good to go. Hopefully that this is good to go. I hate when this happens. every time I get a Windows update, the goddamn thing one resets all my stuff, so I don't have any of my settings, for sound and everything. And then something always goes poo poo caca doo doo wrong, where I'm like making sure everything's working. It looks like it's working now, so I think we're okay. But yeah, that's the big issue with Datacrons. So yeah, let's get to another. I'm sure we'll get to more Datacron questions here moving forward. Let's see what's the next question. Neo Venom 2 says question, not really a question, Ranger. Despite the issues I'm having with the game, I finally managed to unlock gas. Nicely done, sir. Good job. Gas is awesome. Congratulations. Oh, I just saw the question from Dr. Feelgood for Gom. The dessert question. That is not a dessert behind him.
I got a dessert. I don't think it's appropriate. Yeah.
Boulders. Bobby, question. Are you worried about now how intense the Datacron kits are? I feel like scouting for GAC will take a PhD. Oh, it's going to take a PhD. How are you going to approach like strategy wise now GAC? Like, let's go through everybody here, because my thing is like, what do you do? I mean, I'm completely Gom, you and I are very defensive GAC players. We like to put a lot on defense now. I don't know are you thinking of changing that strategy now that Datacrons are in the game?
I don't think, because kind of like Aldous was saying, like, and then take them up to level 3 last second, right? And just kind of take the very best ones up to level 3. I don't think we're going to have the opportunity to really roll that many level 6, definitely not R9 or the level 9s, right? So I think this first round, the vast majority of us are going to have pretty basic ones, right? And a lot of these light dark side ones, stats not included, right? Just the ability itself is really not much stronger than a Zeta. Like the initial rolls for the lighter dark side, maybe, it's like an extra Zeta, maybe an Omicron. So it's not insurmountable. I think the teams with the level 9 GLs are going to be an issue, but at the very top, people with the level 9 Datacrons and their GLs are just going to be fighting other characters. So they're going to be a wash in a lot of instances, I fear, which really makes them, those that think these are unnecessary, it definitely supports their argument, because I think they're not bad. I don't think they're that. I don't mind the Datacron update. I think they actually have done a decent job with scaling out the materials. People are getting them all, but you don't want people to get 40, just have 30 Datacrons instantly. Like, there needs to be a little bit of balance. I think they've balanced it okay for a CG release. You mentioned mods earlier. So what we do with them, I think it's going to be safe to, just kind of, I don't know, keep it. You could go put GLs on defense and just keep all your Datacrons for offense. That'd be like a new form of cheesing, I guess. I don't really know the best thing to do. I think set 2's got the better light and dark side discs. But this one you could potentially have, what I fear is like basically spamming fear with DR teams, Darth Vader, potentially some of these dark side discs with a debuff cooldown. Datacrons, those could potentially be some loops. That could be irritating. I wouldn't anticipate them fixing anything that's really buggy with these, because they're only temporary. Somebody said that in the stream the other day, and I was like, that's a good point.
Well, the thing that it's maybe not so much for this GAC round, but the thing moving forward as we start getting more of these with different sets and stuff, it's going to get more complicated and more complicated. And I'm terrified of what's going to happen in 3s. I mean, 3s is going to be ridiculous with these stats.
I like the extra layer of strategy. I like it. But again, the more casual player, this is unnecessary and overwhelming.
Yes.
I understand that argument 100%. They're a little overwhelming for probably the majority of the player base. So I like them, but I'm just one person that stresses out and obsesses over stupid video game characters.
Yeah, that's the thing is too, is I mean, it's at the upper level, we're going to adapt no matter what goes on with Datacrons, right? I mean, I've said my piece and the problems I've had with Datacrons, but now that I got that out of my system, what do I do to try to adapt to this, right? How do I overcome what this is going to be? And even for me, we're all intense GAC players here. I'm just sitting there going, God damn it. How many of these things am I going to have to look at and figure out, and then like what's going to be my strategy for offense and defense moving forward? You know, because it completely flips things on its head. Unlike normal counters are now out the window, and I hate that because I've worked so hard to get some of these counters up and running. You know, like my Fennec team. I busted my ass to get my Fennec team up so I can beat the shit out of Lord Vader teams, and Datacron completely throws that out the window if Lord Vader gets a Datacron, right? Stuff like that that's just infuriating to me. So now I have to figure out my strategy, and I'm thinking I may just go 2 GLs on defense with Datacrons and just keep everything for offense. You know, what's the point? You know, I mean, I'm going to need everything I can to. I'm going to need as many tools in the tool belt as I can get my hands on, in case I run into anything. Even a GL with low Datacrons is still nasty, man. That's the thing I don't understand about this is the GLs. Why do we include GLs with these Datacrons? That is just crazy to me because they're already over OP as hell, and now they're getting ridiculously OP. I may look at a Ray team if it's on defense and be like, nope, I'm just going to just not do the South. There's no point because I got nothing in my roster to beat that. And the other thing, too, with Datacrons is you may have a Datacron for offense and they may have one on defense. It depends on the stats and what they have on them that's going to make the interaction completely different with the RNG. I don't know. It's going to be quite a lot. And in the 3s, I don't know what you do. Ray with the Datacron level 9 in 3s. Holy God. Oh my God. You thought 5s was difficult. Ray's going to be ridiculous in 3s. So yeah, I kind of feel you on this, Bobby. It's going to take some work. We'll adjust to it. We'll look at everything, and you should be able to see Datacrons before before each round. But you'll have to scout if you wanted to have an idea what you're facing. Go ahead.
They haven't. Okay, so do we know if anyone's actually got one with a GL yet?
Yeah.
I mean,
Clayton.
Okay.
I'm about to do Ray.
How many rerolls did he need? What was the investment?
A lot.
Okay. So I mean, I don't mind it if people are having to drop $300 or $400 to get that 1 GL thing. I think they should have been more transparent on exactly the amount of money required and what the percentages were. I think I had a conversation with maybe Gollum, I'm not sure. One of my concerns is they're not publishing the percentage drops, and they did say in the Q&A that these percentage drops aren't equal. So even though you see Galactic Republic there, it might not be an equal drop, which I think people do need to look out for. There is surprise mechanics in the game, and therefore you've got to be careful there. So that'd be something I would kind of watch out for. And maybe these god tier things are so expensive that if somebody wants to spend $500 to beat me in 1 round of GAC and win $8 worth of crystals, then congratulations. Well done. Because you know what, in 3 months' time, CG has that $500, and I've beaten you because you didn't spend the $500 next time. So I think people that are spending money on it and people are looking at these god tier things just need to kind of check themselves back on what they're getting. And I like Datacrons. I'm going to put my hand up and say I am one of the people that likes Datacrons. And I think the entire game base needs to alter its spending habits and spend appropriately rather than thinking that you're buying the meta. I always buy the best character, therefore I must buy the best Datacron. I think people need to, okay, I'm going to do 2 rerolls because it's Christmas, or I'm going to have 1 reroll because it's my birthday. That sort of approach to things, rather than necessarily go, I'm going to hit the button to get GML. I think there was a comment in chat earlier on about Kyber 1 free-to-play not allowed from Leonardo, which is 100% of a feeling, but to be honest, I've been chilling out in 3,000 in Kyber 1 without spending massively or doing, so I actually think that where we are now, and if there are a lot of people leaving the game, which there's been 1 or 2 people leave the community, we'll wait to see what the effect that has on the broader community, but we might see Kyber 1 actually being a lot easier to get into. And actually the bottom of Kyber 1 being, I mean, I've only had 5 GLs and Starkiller till this point, and I've been chilling out nice in Kyber 1. So I think we might see, I think people need to kind of, sorry, I'm talking too much, but I would suggest that people look at where the Kyber 1 cutoff is and where they are under the new meta and Datacrons, and whether a lot of people have left and therefore actually they've gone from 20,000 in the world up to 8,000 and they're now in Kyber 1 automatically, even without spending anything. I think there will be a bump up. And I would invite people to be careful of the gambling mechanics around these and the percentages and what the drop rate might be. And I would love people like Clayton to actually share. And I know it's difficult for people who spend money in the game to honestly share actually what they do spend. And, you know, if he chooses to, then I take my hat off to him. But it is something that I'd be very interested in, how many rolls people get to get that meta one. But I like the mechanic, and I think it's just a different mechanic that the spenders have never had before. Well, they had it originally with mods, where everybody was, you know, spamming rerolls and mods, trying to get that god mod. I think there's a danger of doing that now because you don't keep that mod. So that'd be my PSA. Well, I like the mechanic.
I don't like the mechanic, and I do not, and I do like what you're saying about the spin. You got to be very careful about Datacrons. I'm doing it, and Clayton's doing it just so we can test these out. I'm doing the Ray one. He's going to do the JMK one. Now, the reroll is really not that bad because you do get some materials, but it gives you some options. I have to show it on when I do it on like a Monday or something. You can get the one you want. It just you can get the GL Ray one. He got JMK. It's just when you roll it, which one of those of the 3 abilities do you get when you get the reroll? You'll get the character, right? Because there's only 3 characters, but which of those stats do you have? That's where the reroll will come in. The other thing, the problem with Datacrons is they're extremely powerful, but they are temporary. So I think spenders are going to get sick of it very, very quickly because you're spending at least a couple, like you said, $200-$300 to get these up because the crystals and stuff that are needed for this, it's a lot. It's quite a lot to get the Datacrons to 9. And then even get more materials so you can take some more to like 3 to 6. It's a lot. For temporary boost, it's going to get really old really fast for people that spend in this game because it's not like the other stuff that they spend on, right? We've all spent on characters or other stuff, but it's permanent. Once we've made that investment, it's a long-term investment. Like if I'm investing into a character to 7 stars, I got the value of that because it's a 7-star character or relic materials or things of that nature. It's locked in. It's never going to go away. So if I spend money on it, at least it's a permanent long-term investment. These are not. These are short-term. These are going to go away in a couple months, and you know all that investment you just made with money is going to go out the door. You know, and they're exceptionally powerful for a temporary buff. It's going to be interesting to see how it all shakes out in GAC. So we'll just have to wait and see.
Can I answer from a streamer point of view? I know it's maybe not. So I'm working in Blender. I've created a 3-dimensional Datacron, and I want to kind of drop that into probably the GAC lab or this lab's chat so that everyone can use it for their videos. Because something I want to do is, I think during GACs, I'm going to have a rolling, appearing on the screen kind of high-looking graphic that reminds people in chat about what Datacrons I have and where they are and what my opponent has and where they are. Because I think we're going to have a lot of people coming into chat and saying, use that team, but not knowing that there's a Datacron against us or that we have one somewhere else. So I want to kind of drop that. I'm trying to finish that off as soon as possible. But I think a nice clean graphic for the community to use of Datacrons will help streamers and content creators. Obviously, it doesn't cost anything. You don't need to share it out. But I would suggest that to people. And even I might expand it to Omicrons just so that I think people that are casually watching the stream can then get a reminder about what's in play and what isn't. And that's kind of something I want, because I'm concerned about how complicated this might make a presentation.
Not really.
I want to keep the pace to it, if you know what I mean.
Well, when you go into your GAC, when you look at a team, it's going to have the Datacron icon on it. So I mean, I'll just communicate that this is what we're looking at. I mean, that's what we do anyway. We look at GAC teams anyway when I'm doing GAC. I know, Gong, you do that too. We look at what's the team, okay, and then what are the speed, the stats, what are we looking at? So we'll have to look at the datacrons individually.
Yeah, but then I asked this to do the maths about what that actually means. So
that's
it's
a different story.
I mean, the thing is, like, if I now have a 20% on, then I have an argument in chat about whether these apply before or after.
They apply before. They apply before. They listed out how the stats work.
I know, but there will still be the argument in chat going on, and then the maths, and it'll be like, yeah, I want to keep the pace up, and so that's something I'm looking to do. Just drop that into one of these circular, all these community start chats, if you can use that for a better presentation. Because I do think we're having other mechanics that people aren't necessarily, and I've still to see these represented on screen. As far as, do I need to click on them? I'm going to have to click on the, okay, that's talked about it. Anyway, next question.
So I've got a question then. So how many seasons of Datacrons do you reckon it will take before they resolve the fundamental issues that are going to be there?
I think really, question. I like Aldous. I think I like the addition of these to the game in theory. The execution and the rollout and stuff, you can, it's been average for CG, I think, right? Like, it's been acceptable. We've had way worse rollouts and we've had way more generous rollouts. It's kind of in the middle, in my opinion. But I think we really can't base anything until we start doing the TWs. We start seeing the other ways they're going to implement them in the game. We really can't really make our final judgment until, 3 months from now, when we actually have 3 sets. We get to see the mechanic of dismantling how many, because does anybody know the ratio, when you dismantle them, how much you get back towards next set?
I don't know, and I've not even been tempted to dismantle anything, because that's right. I guess a little of it.
Right, but there's a huge bottleneck right now. Like, everybody, whether you spend or not, there's a bottleneck. You cannot rank but so many of these up. There's very limited resources. So I think we need to see the dismantling phase. Maybe we get a whole bunch for set 3, and then they really start rolling in. It's easier to start getting those level 9s. It's not, a complete, $500 investment to get a Ray or JMK, because we have so many resources. It'd be interesting to see. And I hope I hope you guys have your dancing shoes on, because these are going to change, right? And that's another reason, like Aldous would say, be careful what you spend. Be very careful what you spend now, because things could very well change when this shipment store refreshes next week, right? Like, we don't know what's coming. And they that's what exhibition means. It gives them an out to basically change whatever they want, because it happened during the exhibition period, right? Yeah. So just be ready to pivot. If you guys have made it through the release, that maybe you're still skeptical, that would still be really, it's going to be tough to make a judgment for months, which is unfortunate. Yeah. Right? Like, it's hard to make the final call on what I think of these.
Well, we also have to see how it plays out in actual GAC and TW. TW, I'm more interested. GAC, I already know kind of what's going to... I have a pretty decent idea how that's going to play out, but I still want to do it. TW, God bless officer. I don't know what the hell they were thinking putting these in TW. That is just too much, way too much for officers to have to deal with. I mean, officers have to deal with a lot with TW and stuff, but, like, how do you even begin to even figure that out? And then the stress of trying to figure that out, and then trying to, like, figure out who's going to attack this with what. And I mean, good Lord. I mean, that's just incredible. Mike, you're giggling over there.
No, I was just thinking that it crossed my mind earlier, and I didn't say anything, and you've kind of brought me back to it, that Datacrons effectively are going to take you off the game, because you're going to be calculating all the nuances, or the, who goes, where do you deploy it, blah, blah. Yeah, I'm not explaining it well, but you're going to spend more time off the game working out where the best use of your Datacrons are than actually playing the game that the Datacrons are intended for. And it just, I mean, hopefully, like Gom was saying earlier, hopefully we'll get used to them. We'll understand them better. We'll understand the key factors, and then see where the little differences come into play. But initially, like you say, I mean, every player's got a headache for GAC, and TW is, wow. I mean, on the measuring board at the top, that's going to be, yeah. I'm wondering how much they're investing in software now, because that's going to be some serious tool development, isn't it?
Yeah, it's intense. I mean, good lord. Jack Daniels question: I've unlocked 2 Datacrons. One has 22% and the other has 16% potency, and the other has 16% tenacity. What the f do I care about at Why the f do I care about Datacrons? You don't have to. I mean, you don't really have to. In the sense, if you don't really want to make the investment in them and stuff, that's totally understandable. You don't have to give an F about them. Just understand that they're in the game, and they're going to have an impact in your gameplay in GAC and TW. So that's whether you want to care about them or not, they care about you. They're definitely going to care about you, my friend, because you're going to have to deal with them on offense and defense somehow, some way.
I'm a little, like Aldous was kind of mentioning the flow of the streams. I am a little concerned my streams are going to take 2.5 hours now, just because I have to, like, especially like the way I play, I keep very little on offense. So every, I have to react with very little options. And now I'm reacting. I have to set up the perfect team, right? And that takes me, 5-10 minutes to talk it out with chat. We decided on a team, and it's like, okay, now which Datacron do I put on to get the most out of this team? That'll be another 3-4 minutes. So I'm a little, because I might have to start my streams a little earlier. There's gonna be the streamer fatigue.
Yeah. Luckily we got one less week of GAC freeze round now, so that'll
that's
help
true.
A little bit. Yeah.
I do. Okay, so I think it is a streamer point that I would encourage every streamer to really consider how you're going to handle your streams and keep them the same length and keep them as fast paced, because you do have another mechanics check, and that's why this entire couple of weeks since these were announced or rumored coming, I've been working on the overlays, working on the stuff in chat, working on the way to present them so that they don't slow everything down. And like I say, I'll share everything that with everyone, because I think we want to make GAC as good as it always is. And we want for people to be able to focus on the game and the fight and the battle, not the preparation for the battle.
But there's going to be no avoiding that now with Datacrons, because the problem is you're going to have to figure out, one, you don't know what they're going to put on defense. And so it's hard to adjust. You have to you won't know unless they consistently put the same stuff on defense. Even them as a streamer, you get people that will completely flip the script on you.
I do think we will move back into rock, paper, scissors, if they put their GMK with that Datacron that they all, because these Datacrons, okay, you get them for a month and they're locked essentially, and you have them for a month and then you have them and then disappear. But they sort of go through a cycle, so people are going to get kind of used to them being in your roster, and Aldi's got that on his JKR team, and so there's a little bit of kind of the regulars will start to get it. The regulars will start to see new counters. But I think it's the newer people coming into the game, newer people coming into the streams that are going to need a little bit of a hand-holding, a little bit of kind of a crux to say, right, no, Aldi's got that Datacron on his gas team type thing, if that makes sense.
Are you at a concert? What is that?
Sorry, the people in the Indian hotel next door to me are playing, having a party, shall we say.
I was wondering, I thought it was just me, man.
Hopefully it's not. Hopefully, okay, if we stop, then what happens, it was, literally that's coming through the wall. That's literally this wall.
They're celebrating the release of Datacrons.
Datacrons have gone down very well in the Indian market. And the Indians have come to Bangkok to celebrate the release of Datacrons.
God. All right, moving on. George Fletcher question: if CG created a marketplace where you can sell your characters for real cash, with CG taking a generous commission, thus resting them on your account, would you sell any? GL sell for 10K? They will never, ever, ever, ever do that. Ever. So I'm just telling you that no.
You might as well just open up the gates and start let us bet crystals on GAC. Just open it up, the floodgates. That's when you know the game's about to die.
Yeah.
So they say, here guys, we know we're because you got to teeter on that line to where you got to make it to where it's just just enough gambling to be legal in most countries, right? Because a lot of these countries are shutting down these games because of the gambling sort of predatory mechanics. Diablo, I know, has been banned in a couple bigger countries already. So CG, and that's an interesting point. I think it was Aldous earlier showing the percentages. I think they didn't do it to be nice. They show us the pack probabilities in these characters. It'd be interesting to see if some sort of legislation or something, they have to start revealing, the actual chance.
They only need to do it for monetary purchases.
Yeah.
They don't need to do it for a mod roll. So, when we go in with a 3, sorry about the Indians. If we go in with like a 3-roll speed, that roll might not be an even roll. So these mods might not be even rolling speed, and they can change them however much they want.
That part is a little scary. Yeah, that little blip in the Q&A where they're like,
oh yeah, these aren't the same. And they only answered it for question 1, which was the stat boosts. They didn't even get to the teams or the final characters. So 100% for me, I think it applies. But yeah, it only applies to monetary spend, not the way they've done it on this, because this is a whole new currency. So this is about as shady as... Well, it's not shady. It is something to be very mindful. If you're a gambler, and I am a gambler, be really in control of what you're spending and be really in control of what you're getting. And the classic, when the fun stops, stop. Is the slogan that most of the gambling people use. It's something that I think we let Arnold find out and publish back to all of us how much millions he spent on his first R9, or one of these unincredible people like Clayton and you Ranger, just kind of educate the community on how much it genuinely costs. And it's not the first reroll you get the Ray. You keep getting the Inquisitor, and they even clarified in the Q&A. You know what? If you go from Inquisitor to Lightside to Galactic Republic, your next roll can go back to Inquisitor. It doesn't go back to, it doesn't go Inquisitor, but it can go Inquisitor, Resistance, then back to Inquisitor, then back to Resistance, then back to Inquisitor, and then back to Resistance ad infinitum. Anyway, sorry, carry on.
All right.
I find it interesting though
that
what they did do was they blocked any players who have effectively done their rosters, and therefore you're collecting mats from selling their accounts if they weren't interested in doing Datacrons. Because then the investment basically is you purchase the account and then you invest in Datacrons to bump them up. And they shut that door before it could be opened. And that kind of also indicates where they're looking at.
Yeah.
How do we prohibit our gamers from profiting from this whilst maximizing our profit margins? And it's
No.
They want the money from that potential of the 9 roll. They don't want you to sell your account with, oh, by the way, I have the mats to roll potentially Ray, and therefore if you buy my account, you get that 1 roll at Ray that you really want, and that will make you millions. I sell it to you, and therefore I get the money of the potential. It's a very smart thing they've done. I don't know. It's something to be very, very, very careful of, I would say.
Question from Helenix to my favorite Sandfly. Datacrons are dumb. I don't like them. Regardless of this, I and everyone else playing will just have to get used to them. What's the first thing to do with these things? Oh boy.
The first thing to do with these things is try and get Malgus and do as best as possibly you can. No, but automatically investing in Conquest and doing well in Conquest and watching streamers and videos like, everyone here does it. Incredible streams that tell you to get better at Conquest with the resources you have, but don't pressurize you to spend millions or you have to get the right crate. Do as best as you possibly can in Conquest. That will get you some stuff to spend on these Datacron things. And then use that stuff the way you do. I wouldn't invest heavily Invase, sorry. I would just spend a little bit maybe on this phase 1. Like Gom did an incredible presentation, and so many other people have put incredible videos since I've been in Bangkok. But I would 100% encourage people to focus on season 2, because season 2 is going to be the opposite of season. So everyone's going to go into season 1 having spent everything they have and going, look at these data runs, these are amazing, look how amazing I am. I'll probably go into season 1 having not spent all my resources. I'll have dropped down a little bit because I'll probably go 5 and 7, but we'll see. And then when it gets to season 2, I'll have all the resources and I'll go 12 and 0, because all these people will have blown their load. So I would say the first thing to do is to focus on Conquest and watch talented Conquest streamers and watch the stuff that Gom talks about, Bit Dynasty, Scale Tricks, all these videos. If you have hot utils, that's incredible as well for understanding where you are, and just chat to people. I mean, I love Conquest as well. Calvin, awesome, loves Conquest. Chat to those people and get them to maximize your Conquest ability, and please don't attend an Indian disco like that.
Well, we've talked a lot about the monetization side of it. Like outside of the top 250, maybe 500, whatever the case is, I think the players that are finding themselves like, damn it, this guy's got a better roster than me. Like, oh, his, trooper team is 1 speed, whatever the case is. If you're outmatched in terms of rosters, I think these datacrons are really going to be helpful for the, light spending, free to play, tactician, the guys that really understand the mechanics of the game. They're really good at strategy. I think these are gonna be in your corner to help you. You're gonna start overcoming the people that just simply beat you because of the investment they've made in the game. Like they have all the mods, they have all the characters, the relic levels. I think some of these datacrons will help the better players per se kind of start picking up some wins. Because at the end of the day, like even you could the ultimate goal, in my opinion, winning Grand Arena is matching or exceeding your old crystal income from Arena. And you could do that at 5 and 7, 6 and 6. Just a lot of us, myself included, the way the old format was set up, we're so used to just destroying the competition because, we've developed our rosters a certain way. I'm going 11 and 1, 12 and 0, 10 and 2, and now I'm going 5 and 7, 6 and 6, 7 and 5. It's a little bit of a shock to the ego, but at the end of the day, you're still technically winning. You're doing well if you're still getting that crystal income like you used to. And I think that's, especially now, they keep adding, layers of monetization. You're not going to win the pissing contest in the top 50, right? So like accepting that you're going to go 7 and 5, just keeping your eyes on the prize, which is your crystal income, is probably the way we all need to just adapt and start looking at this.
The thing is, though, Gom, Capital Games is the only person winning the pissing contest in top 50.
Well, absolutely, yeah.
Yeah, I mean, like, none of the people in top 50 are winning. They're all losing because they're giving money to another company. And they're not getting the necessarily enjoyment back out of it.
Well, it's hard for you to. Okay, you can't say that because you don't know what. You can't say that because they were spending before GAC. They're going to spend after GAC. These people spend because this is just what they do.
That's fine. I mean,
that's totally fine. Yeah.
No one should ever be criticized for the money they spend this guy. I see a lot of that going around right now and the comments and stuff, but like especially people with the free to play or don't spend money, like the free to play are screwed. No, you're not. You still have a game to play because people are buying this type of stuff, right? Like the people that are buying it are buying their way potentially to the top 50 to the leaderboard, and you still have a game to play for relatively free, if not completely free. It's unfortunate, but there's not a single in-app purchase game I've ever played where they're generous to the free to play. I don't think that thing really exists. That's why there's legislation, because everyone's just using these predatory tactics in all of their games. It's the way in-app purchase games are.
Yeah.
So I mean, it's no different than any other company. I mean, every game you play is just as guilty. Some of these gacha games, you'll spend hundreds of dollars every week just to get a certain character.
Go play Candy Crush. See how that goes. I mean, oh my god, oh boy. So yeah. Next question. Hold on. Leonardo, question. Do you think CG has changed its target demographic, meaning Asian markets are their priority now? I don't know how. I mean, I don't know what the markets are for Japan. Didn't China ban the game?
Yeah, I
so,
was going to say you can't gamble there or something with that.
yeah, so I 5 years, so I know a lot, and I covered the whole of Asia Pacific as technical manager. So, um, I understand what the comment or the question is aiming towards is that yes, the Chinese are the largest gamblers on the planet. There is more money spent per year in Macau gambling than there is in Las Vegas by quite a bit. And I think Macau passed Las Vegas in 2008 for the amount of money. And it's because of the Chinese people loving gambling. However, the Chinese government, like you say, has shut down on gambling apps, in-app purchases massively. And however, a lot of people in China do play through VPNs, which is 100%. But yes, I understand the stereotype. I don't think it's true in Star Wars Galaxy of Heroes. I've never come up against necessarily a high-level Chinese player, and I don't see any Chinese players in the top 50, which, if this genuinely was about money spending and things like that, then I would expect the top 50 to be pure China. So I think
Windows 73 says
I
you
don't
can't.
think they're moving that direction.
Yeah, you can't spend money in game in China. You can still play it. I think is what he's saying. So
yeah, the problem with China is because of China's internet laws, almost everyone a high percentage of the people in Shanghai, Hong Kong use VPNs. Even my work would have had a VPN. Actual work Wi-Fi that wasn't based in China. So it is quite broad, but it is protecting the people from in-game purchases and in-game gambling, which is a good thing. So I salute China for that stance, and it is protecting children, so it's a good thing to do. I don't think, so to answer the question, I don't think China is in any way CG is in any way targeting the Asian market, but the Asian market's more complicated because you have other countries like Japan, Korea, Singapore that don't have the same legal laws. It's only China has those laws. But to be honest, I really don't see large communities in China. In Japan, Singapore, I used to live, there was only 1 or 2 people from Singapore that ever played. So no, it's an interesting thing to have, but no, I don't think CG is moving that direction. I actually think they're moving back to mods, where a lot of people, I think, initially spent large amounts of money getting surprise mechanicking on mods. And I think they're moving back to that model. And I think a lot of that model was about the European American market. I don't think they're targeting the Asian market at all.
Well, the competitiveness of GAC, the change in GAC is making them a fortune. People are paying for just to remain, pay for competitiveness. They're turning it into like an esports sort of thing right before our very eyes. Like, we all did that speed gap with the devs. That was a lot of fun. I really think that was like a testing grounds for, can this survive as an esports game? Because the games are changing, right? The game has a lot of these, blockchain sort of games that are, pay to play or play to earn sort of games. This one, if they can go down this esports route, I think, and it really makes some, I'm speculating here, but really cool if down the road, once all this stuff finally gets finished, maybe they start doing some sort of like speed gap, but for everybody to include, like, winners get prizes and stuff. I highly doubt it, but they seem to be really focused on the PvP side. I don't think we're getting a raid anytime soon, right? Can I
play the wolf? Because I'll finish first.
Yes, sure. You can play the wolf. I'll be the.
If it's a speed gap, it'll take us months.
Yeah, yeah. I'd say what grid.
I think I tried. Sorry, I think I tried to answer the question. I know there's a lot of people that I spent a long time working in China. I've been to China many, many times. It's an incredible country, as are the other Asian countries. There is legislation in China that is very interesting, and obviously, but I'm not.
I don't think they're. I don't think they are. Yeah, I don't think they are.
CG is not targeting China. China is not a large Star Wars market, if I'm honest. It's more of a
No,
Marvel
Japan
market.
is Japan is a huge market for Star Wars stuff and some other Asian countries, but yeah, China's not. So I agree.
I encourage anyone in chat. Sorry, I would encourage anyone in chat to go back and look at the launch cinema revenues for the Star Wars films versus the Marvel films.
Oh,
and I
it's
think you'll find
night and
that
day.
the like Star Wars, the originals, was probably never even shown in China. There is not the love of that franchise that there is of the new Marvel films that are now made. So, yeah, have a look at that, and probably maybe that might kind of understand where the market is.
All right, let's get to the next question. Zombie question: how big of a disadvantage would it be if I didn't put much into Datacrons? I don't know yet.
I mean, I would definitely invest the resources you get, like, because you can't use them again. So you might as well just, even if you don't care that much about them, just recklessly level up a few to level 3 and throw them on your teams. I mean, they're giving you the resources essentially for free. So to not use them would be kind of silly because you can't like hoard them, right? So just spam them up real quick, like right before lock, and just throw them on some teams and forget about it. I mean, that's probably what the vast majority of the player base will end up doing in a few months anyway, right? It's just like It's too much to handle.
I almost agree a little bit with the maybe don't spend them all, maybe put 2 or 3 up, and maybe kind of see how the first thing goes. They're not going to take the resources off of us between round 1 and round 2, so you will have them for round 2, and round 2 looks to be more
Right back.
So yeah, maybe, and I know I'm disagreeing with Tom, which is always a dangerous thing. Maybe keep a little bit in the back pocket, or see what you get to. I mean, I'm enjoying Conquest, so I'll see where I get to. I might keep a little bit in the back pocket for round 2.
Right, but are these resources, the upgrade materials, you can only use those on the particular set, no? Like, you can't just hoard all your stuff you're getting from Conquest and put them on the second set. Like, don't you have to spend them on the same set? Like, won't there be a difference?
No. The money and the upgrade and the rerolls don't say Inquisitorius Season on them. Only the Datacron itself. So they haven't said anywhere, to my knowledge, could be wrong, they haven't said they're going to strip us all back to 0 when the season resets. All the money and the resources and the rerolls appear to be like a new currency that we're going to be able to hoard. They also haven't given us an upward space on it. And also, depending on where the new gag matching allows you to have a bad season, then a good season, then a bad season, and a good season, might even become the meta, with actually not investing for a season, not using stuff for the first season, then chilling, and I think all of these new currencies in game are carry-overable, but don't seem to be reset, as far as I can tell.
All right, should be okay. We should be a little bit better. I'm just trying to get to the internet going. I'm trying to figure out what the hell's going on. What else? Answer question: if you have to lock in Datacrons for GC and TW, how do they lock for a team on offense, or can you choose whatever Datacrons for whichever team for offense? You can move the Datacron to any team you want. If you don't have the right team, you don't get the bonuses. We showed that yesterday. But once GAC starts, then it's locked in. You can't change it in the middle of GAC. Like you can update your defense or your offense teams, whoever you want to do. But once that match starts, it's locked in. So, and you can put a Datacron on any team up until that point. Of course, you don't want to put like a Galactic Republic one on an Inquisitor team, for instance, because you're not going to get advantage of a lot of the stats and stuff. You get some of the stats, but not many. So you don't want to do that. But it's going to be a mess. I mean, this is going to be messy. I don't know how else to put it, because you're able to change
so if you have to lock them in on a certain team. Well, defensively, I guess so. If you put them on the board, that I don't really know how that mechanic works. So this is learning something too. So if I if I put a Datacron on my defense team, it's going to be there throughout the whole tournament. Like,
right.
Even if I if I pull my team off defense for say round 2, will that team still have the Datacron locked into it?
See, I don't know about that because you can upgrade your defense and stuff. I guess I don't know how that's going to play. I don't know. That's the thing that I'm not 100% sure on, right?
Rowdy did clarify. Sorry, I was incorrect. You can keep the data cash, which is the money, from season to season, but the upgrade tokens you have to use. However, I would say that you don't seem able to use upgrade tokens without using the cash, and the cash at the moment, the money, seems to be the limiting factor. But yeah, I don't understand the locking. What's locked and what isn't, to be honest.
Yeah, as far as I understand it, but you can, for your defense or whatever, you can change the Datacron if you're going to a different team. But once the match starts, and I don't know in between the 3 fights, like how that's going to play. If it's just like once the 3 rounds of GHC start, is it locked in? But you've edited your defense. If that's the case, then that's what you're stuck with. I don't know. That's a great question. I don't have a definite answer on that one, so shit. All right, let's get to some more questions here. If I can get this to work. No, we're caught up on questions. Holy smokes. Holy shnikes. I don't know. You guys want to order pizza, hang out? I mean, we got the Indian party going on over at Aldis's place over there in Bangkok.
I'm sorry, honestly, this is my hotel. This is how cheap this hotel is. It's the fact that the room next door to me is having an Indian disco right now. It's scary. They are very excited about Datacrons. They are, like, literally, if you want to see excitement about Datacrons, literally, we might as well I could just take the camera next door and just see them live on YouTube in the West. They'll be so excited.
What time is it there?
You should eat.
We are half past 10 at night, or an hour and a half before pub shut.
You should go and eat 3 of their sweets and come back and chat to us. We want to see the impact of the sugar rush.
God, no, I might go invest in other temporary mods. I am honestly excited about. I want to talk a little bit. Sorry, it's really good being away, like in Bangkok, and watching all the YouTube videos and watching the stuff that Colin's putting out. I loved his presentation. And I like the people that are engaging with them and giving me content I can actually learn from. And, solo based is a great kind of thing about the base possible ones to aim for. I've loved a lot of things. I like them because they're literally adding a surprise mechanic in. And I think people need to get used to a GAC meta where I beat Gom. Gom is a much better player than me. But because of some random mechanic or some nonsense strategy, I beat Gom, or I beat Ranger, and it's not that I am a better player than those people. I'm terrible. It's just the fact that I have accidentally played my Datacrons in a certain way, and they have accidentally played their ones in a different way, and I lucked into the 10% or the 5% whereby I won. And I see Bobby talking there about the PhD of understanding kits, and I think that's going to be it. You're not going to be able to spend these months studying kits and strategizing. So when Gom sits down and looks at my roster when I face him, he'll be like, right, he normally does this, he normally does that, he normally does this. But when he faces me, it could be radically different. And I think that is something which people are going to get used to. It's the same almost as the ships, 3 loadouts with 3 ship defense with the missing. And I think people need to get used to GAC being less maths based and less of a stats check and more of a football match where, sometimes that shot hits the post. Sometimes the keeper gets a hand to it. Sometimes it's, if that makes sense. So I think it's going to change the way we consume Star Wars Gods and Heroes. It's not going to make it any worse or better, but it's going to mean that these mismatches we've had, where it was quite obviously a loss when we matched up rosters, I think it's going to create another large layer of randomness. And I think what we're arguing about as a community is that randomness too large a randomness?
To me, it is.
A lot of us agree.
To me, it is.
It is. I think a lot of us agree it is. Yeah.
Here's the problem here's the problem with that. I understand your reference, but here's the thing: is you got all these things, like I just mentioned before. There's all these gates that you have to get to certain levels with certain, you're working on GLs and certain teams to get them to where you can eventually use them effectively in GAC. GAC, at certain points, the rosters will still, and even with Datacrons, larger rosters for the most part are still going to dominate smaller rosters. It's just the way it is. It's something that they should have addressed before they kick this off. Is the mismatches that we're seeing in GAC. It's a big problem. And what it's done, though, is we spent all this time and resources and relics and mods and things of that nature, and then oh my god, what has Gum got? Oh my god, I can't concentrate when Gum's got this shit in the background. Oh, that makes it better, David. Also, oh thanks, I got the Hoff. But it's basically neutered things like, for instance, you bust your ass, you work on getting C. You get C done, you get him to 200k health, you do all this stuff, and then along comes this Datacron for Rey, where it's like, what do? It completely neuters that counter. And I think that's the most frustrating thing, because the resources are so hard to get in this game. One, to get characters and teams up running first of all. And then when you tell somebody all that work you did is completely, for this counter is gone, that's the frustrating part. Now there's other teams better, but your other teams and stuff that you worked on can be completely thrown out the window. And I think even the lower tier of Datacrons, the first 3 levels, are going to have a major impact in this game. I still think larger rosters, for the most part, people that have bigger rosters are still going to dominate people with smaller rosters, especially with Datacrons, because that just gives them more of an advantage. Even with less Datacrons, they could just have a bunch of level 3s, and that person was already mismatched already with the GLs and stuff, so that's just going to make it that much more it's going to make it more difficult.
Weirdest thing, and it's going to sound the opposite of what everybody expects, is that I actually think Datacrons are a gift for the community.
I don't think that at all.
Because, the community that watch people like Gom, Ranger, Mike, who know about the game. Because you know what? They will tell you where to use your people that watch Zereth, people that watch Calvin, these incredible streamers are giving technical advice. If you're engaged in their content and you're watching what they're doing, and you get a tenacity Datacron, what the hell needs tenacity? I pop in Gom's chat and says tenacity, which team? And Gom will say, we'll stick it on that. And then you'll stick it there. Or you pop into Ranger stream, you can ask this question. So I'd encourage everyone watching, engage with them. And literally, to me, this is a gift for the people that consume content with legends like Ranger, Gom, who are able to then say to them, okay, put it here to get them, because the people that aren't watching, the people that are sitting there with all they saw was the bloody thing that CG gave them and the explanation, they're sitting there going, I don't know what to do with this. They don't have a Gom or Ranger. So
the vast majority of players do not watch content. They don't really care. So
hence my question. This is a gift for the community who are engaging with the people like yourselves who know what they're doing.
I know, but I'm not. I could care less about that stuff. I don't. This has added in my opinion, this has added an overly complicated thing to a game that, nobody wanted this. if at the basis of what this game's true intent is, it's a Star Wars game. We play this game. House of Hoff's getting a wet willy. All right. We play this game, 1, because it's a Star Wars game. 2, we play it because we like the characters, and it just makes us have certain emotions and feels for the characters that are in the game. It's an escape for a lot of us, right? We like to play because we like to play with the characters and talk about Star Wars and hang out with our community, our guilds, our friends, and things of that nature. And we like game modes that we can use these characters to a certain extent. We do like a challenge. But some of the stuff that has been done recently by CGs, like the Inquisitor fight with assault battles, or the Galactic Challenge with the Inquisitors, or Conquest with some of the feats and stuff, or now Datacrons, it misses the mark, and what it does is, I play the game to play the characters and have fun doing GAC against GOM. I don't play the game to sit there for hours on end trying to figure out what the hell I'm going to do with Datacrons, right? I can't stand that. One of the things I can't stand in this game is mods. It's a necessary evil, but I don't play this game to sit there and try to figure mass out on mods and what's going to be the best set and stuff. That's not why I play this game. That's not why I enjoy this game. You might enjoy that, and that's cool.
I mean, I think that's why the entire Indians Next Door are enjoying Datacron so much. This is
you're the goddamn party, man. I swear.
This is honestly something that people. The more you engage and the more you watch people that are giving you guidance now, and you don't use your stuff early and just sit on it, hoard it a little bit, would be my advice. And I think in the end, things will find a new normal, and that normal might be bigger or less. But you know what? I'll find a new normal, and I'm going to enjoy the new normal I'm at. And my job is to, like you say, find the best presentation I can put on of the game I'm playing. But yeah, I share the same. There's many other things outside of Datacrons that are not going well, if that makes sense. And there's been a few hit and misses. We talked to the Inquisitors when I was in the pub. But yeah, we wait and see. I think I'm excited. It's going to be a whole new. It is a whole new season, and it is like a whole new season, and we're going into a whole new SWGOH, which is going to be a bit weird, but I'm looking forward to it.
All right. Nathan H. question: what was the least popular near event or feature CG added?
You have to think, us as a player base, we're very predictable, right?
Yeah.
Every time they change even the slightest thing, we have temper tantrums, freak out. We have never accepted any change to this game that they have ever made. We have bitched about every single change. And I'm not criticizing anyone in particular, just as a whole, no one is very happy with change, right? There have been some really bad ones, but there have been some decent ones. But you got to think, like, if it was still like, for those of you guys that have played since day one, if the game was still determined by whose Poe won a coin flip to go first, no mods, no addition, no character progression, we're still playing the same game as released, this game wouldn't be around anymore. So I think we're getting close to the end of the shock phase, and now we'll start. People that there have been some people that quit. That's really unfortunate. I'm not. It's a game. If you're having fun, you probably should, right? It's just a game, right? At the end of the day, but like, they introduce things, we bitch and moan about it for a week, 2 weeks. They slowly implement it like they're doing Datacrons. The cries start simmering down a little bit, and then we start buckling in and searching for content and advice and strategizing with each other on how to adapt to the new. This isn't to answer the question. I completely avoided mods. Initial rollout of mods 1.0, not the mods we have now. The initial rollout of mods
that's
was
a great
the
example.
Worst.
Yeah,
was a terrible release. That one, there is no way you could justify it, because every single thing you had done up to the point of mods initial rollout was irrelevant. You could throw these brand new mods on like a Gear 3 character and just destroy meta teams with it. Like, if you got the good mod roll. I think this is, I won't say balance. There's probably some balance issues that we haven't discovered yet because we haven't used them, but for the most part, these could have been way more imbalanced. The role ranges for stuff, we could have had 3 or 4 factions on light and dark side. Like, I think they've narrowed it down, I think, a fair amount. Like, if you get Galactic Republic, there's only 3 characters you can roll opposed to the entire faction, right? Like, let's say you really want Kenobi and you go after him and you get, Jedi Counselor, you get Plo Koon, you get Jedi Guardian. Like, there's a lot of things that could have been worse, I think. So I'm gonna go with mods 1.0 to answer that question. Really, really long.
Well, there's always
Malik. A lot of people were upset about Malik.
Yeah, that was bad.
So
that was a nice little shock.
Yeah, like, oh shit, I can't 3v3 God.
Yeah.
Like it's.
Yeah, I would say that mods are a perfect example. I always try to be fair to CG. I've ranted on them on a lot of stuff, but I've also been fair with them. Like you used mods as an example. 1.0 was a disaster, but the mods, the change they made from 5A to 6E and then 6E to 6A was brilliant. I thought that was an outstanding move with mods. So you have to be fair with CG. I always try to be fair. I always take it from the sense of what's the impact on this game? Do I think it's good? Do I think it's good? Do I think it's short term, long term? Those kind of things on my thing when I'm looking at something that's added to the game. Relics were fine with me. It was just when they started getting outrageous with the relic levels that drove me nuts. It's like, okay, relic level, okay, but they went ham with the relic levels, and then when you looked at the salvage, it's like, oh my god, that's insane. Yeah.
Okay, so one of the defensive things I have about Datacrons is they are actually temporary. So whereas this isn't a power creep, this is a temporary power borrowing. So you know what? If you want to spend $1 billion, then I'll take your $1 billion. Thank you very much. And therefore, I think it's more. I like the temporary power borrowing rather than the power creep. And I know I'm opposite of everybody else because everybody else just wants to buy something and have it in a month's time. But my advice to everybody is just kind of be careful what you spend. Remember it's temporary, and pull back on it. But no, I like the way we're slowing the power creep. My question, like, if they'd launched this, or they'd given me Relic 10, and this was Relic 10, I think I would be happier with this because Relic 10 would then go away in 3 months' time. So I actually think. I like Datacrons more than just a ruthless relic creep.
Please, CG, do not put speed on a set of these, right?
No.
Everything we've talked about today goes out the window if they make speed a secondary stat. Then people will just start going absolutely bananas on the rerolls. Please do not put speed in these, right? They've done a good job the last couple of years kind of phasing out the importance of speed. Speed is always king, but they've done a good job with some of these kits like Mon Mothma, Chupio, that amp up your other characters in other regards, like other stats, where speed's not quite as important as it was 2 years ago. And if they put speed in these, that's if people start wanting to freak out, I've been overly positive trying to counter the negativity of this the last couple weeks. So they put speed in there. I got nothing. I can't help anymore.
Well, I think season 4 GOM, I can imagine the Grand Inquisitor is getting speed.
I don't know if he'll get speed. He might get turn meter. I can see them
doing that.
I could see them doing turn meter, and he'll have something in his leadership. Maybe
I can see them.
Well, turn meter ones are okay.
Yeah,
you need a buff.
The turn meter ones are okay because everyone has an opportunity to get a turn meter one, right?
Yeah.
That's just turn meter, and it goes back to mods, which is no different than we have now. But if they start putting like 1 and 2, you get 3 to 5 speed, and then it goes for 5 to 8, and then the final tier is 12 to 15. People are going to go absolutely bananas, and that's going to be frustrating, right? That's not going to be fun. Please no speed, CG.
Yeah.
Please no speed.
That could be bad. Can you imagine that'd be mods 1.0 all over again, dude.
My Hawks goes 611 speed. How about yours? Yeah.
But, on a Hawks, can you imagine? Not only does he go first, but you never take a turn because you can't get turn meter. God, that would be horrible. All right, the engineer question. If you apply a Datacron on a team, can you still change comps after battling around? No. I don't think so, no. You have to, once you use it, it's out, Yeah.
Oh yeah, I would think once you use it, I think that's it. I hope you can't use the same one twice.
That would be ridiculous. No, once I think JC the round starts, whatever you put on wherever that Datacron is, it's locked in, and then that's it. You get the use for that team that one time, and then that's it. Offense, defense, all that applies. I don't think that's going to be. I don't think that's going to be any different unless there's a bug or something that allows us to keep using Datacrons all over the place. That'd be awful. Oh God, I don't even want to think about that. Okay. What else in 3 says? GOM, it's bananas. BANANAS.
You want to infuriate an already very sensitive player base, go ahead and throw in speed in set 3. Like set 1 and 2, this is a joke. It's just a joke I made last time. But set 1 and 2, we know. And set 3 is a mystery. They're waiting to see how much money people will spend on set 1 and 2. And if it's not enough, they might flip that speed switch on set 3 and then get people to just go nuts. That's what I fear. Speed at least would be terrible.
That would trigger the spending, wouldn't it?
Yeah, it sure would. I'd be a little more enticed
to
get some.
That kind of would intimate,
Oh God,
where it's going.
Well, the speed is the biggest
tournaments.
Oh God. Well, the
tournaments, that's the worst thing they did. The idea that you had to stay awake for 24 hours to stand a chance to get Shore Trooper or whatever.
Yeah. There's a lot of
that was the worst
one. Yeah, that was a disaster.
I'm still waiting on my refund.
I'm
cheated out of Shard.
It's funny.
You can have my Gen Urso if you want.
Yeah. We were talking about the Malak event. The Malak event, the Malak event itself is fantastic. It's one of my favorite events to do in this game. I really enjoyed the puzzle that was the Malak event. What got people up in arms is they literally dropped that because you remember this, Gom and Mike and everybody, that we got Darth Revan. We're like, he's okay, right? He wasn't blowing us away with everything that we went through to get Darth Revan. It was like 10 days after that Malak came out. And that was the thing. It's the same thing they did with Thrawn, where it's like, hey, here comes Thrawn. You need these characters. They're not even free to play. You just announced this other character for Phoenix. It's like when they dropped the character to cause panic buying. I don't know what the hell they were thinking with that. It's like Jesus Christ. It's kind of stuff like that.
Well, Every example that you bring up, all of these, the tournaments, Malak, like people get upset because they don't know how to do it immediately, and we complain. And that's not a criticism towards anybody. I'm not trying to be negative or belittle anyone's opinions. I'm just saying, like we generally don't accept change very well at all in this community. So, not to trying to bat for CG here, but it's at some point I think it's a little difficult for them to determine really what is good and bad, right? Because we complain about so much, and it's tough to release anything in this game because you're getting criticized for everything you do. So again, and this is something you and Karthik were talking about the other night: constructive criticism. Make posts. State your problem. Like what you don't like about it calmly. Don't finger point, name call, but then offer, even if it's completely unrealistic, offer some sort of solution to the problem that you're having, right? And then these are the posts that do change the game. They do read the forums. It might not seem like it, and they're not going to specifically reach out on your post and be like, "This is a great idea. We're going to implement it." But they take that stuff and they do use it. They do make changes. They've made changes to GC. They've made changes to Conquest. They made changes to every element of the game the past few years. To make it a little more friendly. It's not very player friendly initially, but it eventually gets there. I think Conquest, is boring. Conquest is terrible. Mm-hmm. And a point Zareth made last night is, at least now when you're doing these like mind-numbing, like kill 40 characters with Old Republic use, instead of hitting the same note over and over and over again, you're at least getting slightly rewarded now for those treasure nodes, right? You're getting a little bit of reward for just doing the yeah. So I mean,
is better than stick.
Yeah. Yeah, so I mean, it's not much. You might only get one little material and 30,000 cash, but it's it's better than
more than nothing.
Yeah.
Well, I think the other thing too is what's exacerbated Datacrons is the stuff that's still left open. That stuff that we want, that we're kind of focusing on, that we're telling them that we want, and then stuff that they said, that post from 8 months ago about the gear change in phases. Someone asked me, do you think if they'd implemented all the gear changes and stuff to relics and addressed it, would Datacrons come off differently? Yeah, I think it would have. I mean, there's still going to be people, no matter what, that's just going to say the world's burning. I mean, Gom's right. In this game, there's just going to be that majority that, and they're I mean, that's the thing is, the people that speak the loudest usually when something changes are going to be the negative viewpoints on it. So you have to take that with a grain of salt. Usually, when I get a sense of how something feels in the game, I talk to people that I trust that are, they're going to give me their opinion, but it's going to be level headed, so no, not you, Aldous. You hang out with the Indian party or
Well,
something.
their data isn't drawn from the 10% of us that watch Twitch and YouTube, right? The data they get is for the entire game. I'm just making up a number, but let's say 70% of the player base doesn't even go on YouTube and Twitch to watch videos. These datacrons just showed up in the inventory, like, and they just don't really pay much attention to it. They're just like, continue to play. So like the stuff when they say, our data shows, we're quick to criticize them for it, but like you said, we're a small part of this gaming community. The Twitchers, the YouTubers, the people that watch, the people that make content. We are the small, loud. We're very loud, but we're a minority.
Yeah,
so it's important to remember that sometimes. I forget that myself. Where just because I think something, I can't believe they're doing it. I'm just a dude. I'm just one player.
I like Kia's kind of comment there about until we get to GAC, we won't actually know. I've had times when obviously nobody does TW, but I've had times when the entire community is like, oh God, I'm not interacting with this. I'm not interacting with this. I got to the next GAC, suddenly everybody had all the Omicrons. I'm like, hang on, this seems strange. So I do like that comment. And I think until we go into GAC, and I think there was a gorgeous comment from Zereth, who was like, all these people are quitting, but no one's used a datacron yet. Like, we haven't actually seen them in action. We don't really know what they actually do or how they change the game. So I think that first phase of GAC is going to be fascinating, and I would welcome everybody to watch GOM at Operation Metaverse on Twitch.
Well, I think
thank you.
The people that are quitting, it's just too much, and it's not that the datacrons might be good or bad. It's the investment and the time that is wearing them down. Okay,
they aren't quitting. They aren't quitting over datacrons. They're quitting over conquest, and a lot of. It's the straw that broke the camel's back. It's an investment. Is a necessary farming. It's a hard thing, and the fact is that instead of adding things they wanted into the game, they've added datacrons.
Let me see. We got another question here.
Yeah, which I would have thought that. But I have to say, I like datacrons, and I'm going to disagree with maybe. I have been asking for datacrons, not in the word datacron, but I've been wanting more variety into GAC. I've been wanting a slightly more surprise mechanic added into GAC, like Omicrons. I love Omicrons. I think they've added a kind of good thing, and therefore I like datacrons are kind of Omicron squared. Anyway, I like
steroids.
Well, yeah, they are. But I like those. They might not be perfect, but I like those current.
Let's see here. Dakota the Hunter question: would it make datacrons better if they omitted GLs and lowered the cost of the treasure node to 15 energy to allow for more interaction and possible balance? Yeah, I would be a big fan of that. I think get GLs off datacrons. I mean, I'm okay if you want to use it for other players and characters. I think that would be more interesting to bring up. Like, again, that's what Omicrons were designed to do initially, right? Bring up these characters and teams that we don't really do anything with. I think GLs are overpowered enough and are paying the ass to deal with on their face value. Adding datacrons to GLs, I just think is a complete miss on this. But I think I would be totally
at least for the first couple sets.
Jesus, yes.
Let us get used to it before you throw a GL set.
Because I mean, you look at the bonuses for that. That's just crazy, man. Because I'm going to get the Hair of the Jedi one for Rey that gives her the 300%. Good luck. I mean, I'm sure I'm going to face it too. I have no idea if I face that, what the hell I'm going to do on this good earth to try to beat that. The other thing too, that one stat that I do want them to get rid of is that retaliate stat. I can't stand that mechanic. Please get that the hell out of goddamn datacrons. I can't stand it in Conquest as is because it is such a pain. It's such Such a oh, I hate that damn thing.
It's lame, but it is nice how every faction has that in the role, right? So that at least no matter which way you go, there's an I like if you like it, if you don't like it, whatever, there's an option to get it for all three of the factions. At least they made it consistent. I agree. It's stupid. It's kind of dumb. Like at that point, like if all three of the factions can get it, why do it? But
it's so horrible. Oh my god! Because every time I just immediately as soon as I saw that, I'm like, oh god, here we go. Because I just flash back to Conquest where it's like, that will keep you from either getting 3 stars on a node or it'll keep you from beating the thing because it just sends that damage back to you and it's crazy and you're about dead. They just do a basic and you can kill one of your characters. It's ludicrous. It's absolutely ludicrous, and especially on the teams that they're on, like Padme and Gas and all that crap. It's like, oh my god, it's horrible. So that would be another change that I would want.
My answer to Dakota's question is it depends on the role likelihood of the GL. And I don't think anybody really knows that yet. And, obviously people are re-rolling and getting it, but literally it could be 0.0000001%. So therefore, I don't mind the GL being in there, but I would like CG to tell us the probability and not hide it behind, we don't need to tell you the probability of the GL roll on the final thing. If somebody has to spend $500 to get that GL thing and 3 months later it disappears, then fucking great. They're paying for a game I love, and I will not spend money while those people spend $500, and yes, they'll beat me when I face them, but I would drop out.
It just sucks that we're not gonna see. There's so many cool possibilities for like Finn, Grandmaster Yoda, like some of the buffs these guys could get are awesome, but we're not going to see them because everyone's so laser focused on JMK and Rey, right? Like there are certain roles for Finn that would make a Finn lead very similar to his old Zeta, like if not better. Like there's one that anytime you attempt to inflict expose, right? It doesn't matter if you land it or not. You give expose to the whole team, and then there's other mechanics, like all the debuffs with the cooldowns and all this sort of stuff. Finn could be the ultimate loop team and break the game, but we're not going to know because everyone's just so focused on getting Rey. Grandmaster Yoda is awesome.
I think that's what
give us a chance to use these characters, not just hide behind.
My strategy is literally to toss in like all my conquests, all my Agicrons at level 3 or 5, whatever I get to, and just have a bit of fun. And you know what? We'll see what happens. And it's not going to be this one conquest, this one Datacron, sorry, that I've spent $90 on to try and get like a meta thing. It's going to be like you're going to have to deal with 22 of them. Okay, cool.
Well, the thing too, the problem with the GL ones too, that reason I want them out of there is because it's the stats on top of the level 9 ability. You're adding all this other health, protection, crit damage to these characters as well, in the team that goes with them. I mean, that's why I'm just JMK with his Datacron, with the stats that are on JMK's the meta right now, and you're going to make him that much better. That's incredible. You can go Hell Still, and then with his ultimate, get the one where he ignores protection, and he's you gotta be kidding me, 700% Hell Still with a team that goes into ultimate very fast and then just ignores that. I mean, I don't know what you're going to do to beat that. That's why I don't want GLs on there. I agree. I'd love to see where some of these lesser known characters like Finn and some of these other characters, we can see what we can do with them. But, if it's going to be end game and it's GLs and you're trying to, it's just the way it is. So, last question from the engineer. Choo choo. This question: Can you still level up Datacrons once you apply it to a team? I think so, right? Even if it's on a team, you can still work on them if they're not maxed out, right? You can even re-roll them, I think, if they're on there, right? Or do you have to unequip them? I don't know. That's a good question. I'm pretty sure you can.
Yes, as soon as we're not past as long as we're not past a lock or whatever we're doing it with. I think.
Yeah.
But I would think so, right? Like you could set up your defense teams.
Yeah.
And relic them up and stuff, and it applies. So I don't see what wouldn't.
But look, I love CG, but we need to I think we need to all see this through one round to really understand, what works, what doesn't. does the next GAC last 8 hours and then disappear? And I think, I don't think any of us, well, some of us are more, but I don't think any of us are content creators, and we're trying here to best answer our questions, Quinn. We don't really know what will happen on the locks, yeah.
All right. One more came in. Dakota Hunt Thunder question: can you re-roll factions like Resistance and get Galactic Republic? Yes, you can do that. So there you go. All right. With that, we are going to wrap up this session of the Jedi Academy. Sorry for the technical difficulties. I'm not sure what was going on there, but the time of year where I get crazy weather and stuff going on. I don't know what this. It may not be affecting me immediately, but something gets knocked down with these storms and stuff, and then my internet starts going hazy at certain times. So, but with that being said, we're gonna allow these awesome content creators to pimp their stuff. What the hell's on your head, Gom? Oh, it's your hat. I had to think about that for a second. You have it like a certain way. I was like, did your hair get poofy on me? It looks like your hair got poofy.
I used conditioner last night.
Yeah. Gom's got the 50s poof. That's fantastic. There you go. Well, the Bill, your cat matched perfectly with the color of your hair. I was just looking at like, wait.
It's my new pompadour.
Yeah, there you go.
Yeah.
Do me a favor, folks. Check out these guys. Are going to pimp their stuff. Check out their content. Check out their channels. Support them. They come here on a Saturday morning to answer you guys' questions and stuff. So please do. Gom, where can folks check you out at?
Operation Metaverse. I'll be streaming here probably a couple hours, 2 or 3 hours. We'll dive in. I don't know what the hell I'm gonna do today, but we'll stream something. So
Conquest.
We're on Twitch.
Yeah, I did Conquest last night. Oh man, Aldous, you're in Bangkok. When are you going to be back streaming and working, folks?
What you want me to know about my streaming? I'll be on Operation Metaverse. That is supposed to be. It might not be clean content. No, thank you so much, everybody. I come here to say hi. Thank you so much. I'm moving to New Zealand tomorrow, I think. So I will switch times. So thank you, everybody. I love you all, and I will see you if I can in New Zealand. But obviously, it'll be 2 in the morning, so it'll be limited. But welcome to Sandflies. Much love. Much love.
And of course, Michael W. Huntington III. He's a guildie of mine, former content creator. Anything you want to say, Mikey, as you relax, enjoy the day, womenless in your household?
Oh, mate. I mean, the silence has been golden. I mean, I know, ironically, I've been in a chat, but yeah, the silence is golden. It's like, listen.
It's good to hear from you again, man. It's been a while,
yeah.
dude.
Sorry, womenless?
Thanks.
I can get you women.
No, that's
No, you're right.
You misunderstand.
And
he has a household full of them.
Yeah.
Okay, well,
and by the way, there are no chicks with dicks. There's just men with tits.
That's right.
It's very British thing to say.
Harsh and Gom. Gom's working his feet.
I wasn't expecting that pun.
There's wise words.
Indeed.
Yeah, sounds like something Sawyer would say. We can see where
I'm
she
going
gets it
to
from.
put a video out. Sorry.
With that,
I'm
I
going to
hope
put
not.
a video out. No. I might drop that in at the end, but no, I'm going to roll 10 million. I've been holding on to loads of mats, so I'm probably do a
There you go.
semi-gearing up vid. So yeah, that's
Very
what I've
nice.
got in the pipeline.
I love
That's
a
about it.
gamble. I love a gamble. Gamble.
No, it's not gamble. It's just
Sorry.
it's working
Surprise mechanics.
All right, you get back to your Indian
Okay,
friends.
back to my
Back to your party.
The Indians have gone out. The Indian party has literally gone out on the streets
Wow.
now. I'm going to meet them later on.
Okay,
in
there
some
you go. So tell us how
ropey
they,
club.
yeah, celebrate those Datacrons. All right, everybody
Well,
have a great.
I will not.
Everyone have a great rest of your weekend. Thanks for joining us. We'll be back Monday here on RSG with the lunch stream as tradition. So check out these other great content creators. And with that, enjoy the rest of your weekend, guys. Love you, and we will holler at you later. Peace out.